comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I am MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, even though we are just surpassing the middle of January, we are finally talking about the very first set of not only January 2022 Funko Pops, but first set of 2022 Funko Pops overall for the new year, since we had to catch up on December last week. And this week was pretty interesting, to say the least, not just for Funko Pop announcements, but of course also this past week we got a ton of snow. A lot of people either call it the Blizzard of 22 that just happened, or it's called the Betty Whiteout because it just happened on what would have been Betty White's 100th birthday. So it's pretty insane. But anyways, today's Funko Pop announcements, they range from January 3rd up until January, I believe it is the 13th. Yes. January 13th for this past week. Anything from what would be the pop that kicks off next week's podcast, Lil Wayne with the Lollipop Funko Shop exclusive, will kick off next week's podcast, and essentially anything that is potentially going to be revealed at Funko Fun TV tomorrow, as we're recording this, because we're recording this on Wednesday the 19th. You guys will be listening to this Friday the 21st. So anyways, we're going to kick off with the first set of January 2022 Funko Pop announcements, which range this section from January 3rd to January 7th. So kicking off January 3rd, Box Lunch had announced their own exclusive pop of a Winnie the Pooh in the Rain, which is available at this point now online and in stores at Box Lunch retailers. Then on January 5th, K-Dog and Fish had announced an exclusive pop of a glow-in-the-dark Phantom Shadow from Scooby-Doo, which this was available on their website and it has since sold out, but I think it's available now at other retailers, essentially across Canada and probably a part of the US, unknown yet of the actual retailer for this pop, since they have been sold with the special edition sticker. And then Funko had confirmed two pops on the Funko app on that same day, which first off, we have a Toy Stop exclusive, Illumi Zoldyck from Hunter x Hunter. And then we have ourselves Saitama with a bait bag. That's a bait exclusive from One Punch Man, in which these have been both since available. Then on January 6th, it was announced by Playhouse Thailand of an Asia exclusive Mickey Mouse as Tiger, in which this is available for pre-order at various retailers and should be available as early as Q1 of 2022. Then on January 7th, Funko had kicked off some sweet announcements for that week. Actual announcements, I should say, instead of the Funko app. We got ourselves first Walt Disney World 50th Anniversary Pops, a new wave, which we got ourselves common pops of People Mover Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, People Mover Pluto, a PhilharMagic Mickey Mouse, and then we got exclusive pops of a Stitch on People Mover, which will be going to the Funko shop, Mickey Mouse and Space Mountain Pop Town, they'll be exclusive to Amazon, a PhilharMagic Mickey Mouse Diamond Collection pop exclusive to Hot Topic, and we got ourselves a Pirates of the Caribbean dog, a flocked version that'll be exclusive to Box Lunch, and these are expected to release as early as March 2022. On that same day, Funko had announced a set of pops for the upcoming DC Comics film, The Batman, which we have common pops of two variants of the Batman, one with a couple of objects, one just in a fighting pose. Then we got two variants of Selina Kyle, which has a 1-in-6 unmasked chase, Oswald Cobblepot, which also has a 1-in-6 chase, the Riddler, a Batman with Batmobile pop rides, a Selina Kyle with motorcycle pop rides, and then a 10-inch The Batman. Then we got ourselves exclusive pops of a Battle Damage The Batman, which will be going to Hot Topic, an unmasked Bruce Wayne, which will be going to Pop in a Box, a normal Bruce Wayne going to Target, a Wingspan The Batman going to the Funko shop, and then a Walmart exclusive 4-pack of essentially the four commons of the Batman, Selina Kyle, Oswald Cobblepot, and the Riddler all slapped in there to make it an exclusive 4-pack, in which these are expected to release as early as April 2022. So kicking off with the Winnie the Pooh Funko Pop, which is actually pretty sweet. when Box Lunch posted this, it was kind of like a weird, like out of box, like had to do little hand modeling there with the pop to kind of show it off rather than what we see in the glam shot, which really cool. I'm surprised they didn't end up making this like a pop deluxe because of the base, but I'm glad they did. And pretty sweet. Probably one of the better Winnie the Pooh pops, in my opinion, from at least what I can think of off the top of my head. Then we got ourselves the glow in the dark Phantom Shadow, which it's cool to actually say that K-Dog and Fish got to announce a pop here on the podcast. Really decent. And the glow is also pretty decent, actually, because K-Dog and Fish did a glow check while posting this. And the glow is pretty decent. I don't know how long it took for them to charge it, considering that you have a color like that where it's like a bluish greenish color. It does look pretty decent. And it's a vinyl, or not a vinyl paint, but it's a vinyl glow, which makes it glow better than essentially glow in the dark paint. And I only know this because of one of Top Pop's recent videos, because he had ended up getting the pop from K-Dog and Fish, showed it off. And so from what I've seen, it's pretty decent. Then we have ourselves the anime pops, I'll say, from Hunter x Hunter and One Punch Man, which they're pretty decent. I mean, I like the overall design of Illumi, I think the name is, from Hunter x Hunter. Pretty decent. I like the hair. Nothing really much to say, though, because I've not seen Hunter x Hunter yet. And then we have the Saitama with the bait bag, which this is pretty decent. I know that this was released months ago at the bait booth over at San Diego Comic-Con Special Edition. So I know this pop has been out for a while, but once again, we needed some sort of like official glam shot until we were able to actually discuss about this on the podcast, which this is cool. This is one of those items I feel kind of like when you go to San Diego Comic-Con and you see like the toucan, where it's one of those items where you can buy and it's like, all right, it gives me a reminder of going to that event. So it's one of those things where you go to the bait booth, you buy the Saitama, unless of course you are a One Punch Man fan and you want the whole set. But let's say you're a casual collector and you buy yourself something to remind you of your visit to the convention. So visiting the bait booth and Saitama's holding a bait bag, pretty decent. Then we got the Mickey Mouse Year of the Tiger pop, which this is pretty sweet. I mean, we've seen these Mickey Mouse pops going with like kind of like Chinese New Year and stuff the last few years. Even I think MD got one from, I can't exactly remember. I thought for some reason MD got one at a retailer. I can't exactly remember what it was, but this is pretty decent. I think this is the best one that they've done from what I remember, because I can't really remember the Mickey Mouse pops actually being as detailed like this. And it'd be pretty cool if you got this pop and it ends up having that Asia Pacific exclusive sticker, because that's just a new sticker to add to the collection. And then we have ourselves the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary pops, which will start off obviously with the People Mover pops, which I know that some of these pops have actually started hitting up stores, I believe, but not everywhere yet. And these are pretty decent, especially because once again, these seem like these could be like pop rides and Funko could just drive up the price for them, but they are not. They are essentially part of the Disney lineup and will be sold for your regular $15 Canadian, or I think it's $12 US retail price at majority of retailers. These are pretty decent. And I noticed also here, and I didn't mention it because it's actually already been announced, is that Captain Hook on the Peter Pan flight pop rides. That was actually announced, I want to say it was Funko Fair last year, but it must have been a part of one of those delayed pops where it just never got into production. And of course, worldwide shipment delays and ongoing variants that may sound like Transformers causing the delays of these Funko Pops. But this is pretty sweet. I like the selection of characters they used. And it's pretty sweet that they made a pop town of Space Mountain. We already have the pop rides, I believe, that just recently announced a couple months ago with Mickey Mouse. So it's cool that they made a pop town, and it's Amazon exclusive, which is pretty decent. And I'm sure from what I remember of reading the comments that a lot of people were really hyped for that flocked variant of the Pirates of the Caribbean dog exclusive to Box Lunch, because people were already excited for the original one that's just a common, but the fact that you can get a flock now is even better because it makes sense for a dog to be flocked essentially. And then we have ourselves the Batman pops, which I'm not going to go into so much detail because we actually have a video on our channel where I discuss about the Batman pops one by one, which most likely could be either a little suggestion thinking above or an end screen for today's podcast. So if you want to view that video right after, stay for the outro so you can see that end screen and you can just click on the video. But discussing a little bit about, I'm going to mention what my favorite and my least favorite is, I guess, of these Batman pops, which I think my least favorite, I think is a super obvious one, is that 4-pack of the Walmart exclusive, because it's just 4 common pops slapped into a 4-pack, slap a Walmart exclusive, and bam, you have an exclusive 4-pack. Instead of making 4 new pops or something slightly different, it is the exact same common pops. There's nothing really different as far as I notice, unless maybe that Batman there is metallic. Who knows? It could be one of those money grab 4-packs like we've seen pop culture announce before. But my favorite has to be the Pop in a Box exclusive unmasked Bruce Wayne, just because I like the detail of the eyeshadow, kind of the scraggly hair, and then the detail of him holding the mask in his hand. I think it's pretty sweet, especially the detail of the new suit is also really awesome. So these are a pretty sweet set of pops, and I wouldn't be surprised that if a lot of these pops are sold out at certain retailers.
Okay, starting off with the new Winnie the Pooh. I feel like we don't really need this pop. I feel like we've been seeing a pretty decent amount of Winnie the Poohs in the last year, I'd say. And I'd like to see some other variants of like characters that if we've seen them before or not, like Eeyores and Owl and Rabbit and Piglet and Tigger and pops like that. We've seen a lot of Winnie the Pooh, that's for sure. But this does look really, really cool. I like how the base really does look like Winnie the Pooh is splashing in the rain puddles. And the umbrella is a nice touch as well. That could have easily been left out, but it definitely does give it more of a feel of the rain. Then we have the Phantom Shadow, which is now glow in the dark, which is really, really cool. This is awesome. I want to collect Scooby-Doo pops so dang bad, but I kind of missed out on getting the like first wave when it first had come out. I don't know. I got some catching up to do, and this is definitely a cool pop to maybe start a collection of Scooby-Doo pops. Then we have Illumi from Hunter x Hunter, and this pop looks all right. I don't know a whole lot about Hunter x Hunter, but I do know kind of the feel of the anime and what the characters are kind of supposed to look like. So I think this does look pretty cool. There is some decent detail, and I really like the hairline, how it kind of has like, I don't even know how to explain that. Like just the hairline, I think looks good where it has like the spikes going down rather than being just like a flat edge. Then we have Saitama, obviously from One Punch Man, and this is the Bait exclusive. This is okay. I do think that DK brought up a good point where if you're going there and you get this pop, it's kind of cool in that sense. But besides that, I don't know. This is just one of those exclusives where they throw a bag on them, and it's a little bit different than the original pop, I guess. But I'm sure One Punch Man fans are excited about this in a sense because I feel like we haven't seen One Punch Man pops for quite some time now. Then we have the Mickey Mouse in the tiger costume. And yeah, this is pretty cool. And what DK was talking about is the Mickey Mouse that I got that is the like Go Thailand exclusive, I believe. And that I got with my package of the Ronald McDonald, the Common, and the Chase that were the Thailand exclusives. And that pop's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it did come with some box damage, which kind of sucked, but I do like that pop because it's something different for the collection. And this version of Mickey Mouse is just the same as that. I do find it funny how some people are thinking that it is actually a Tigger costume that he's wearing, where it's just a tiger. And I originally seen this pop through an Instagram user who I can't remember his name right now, but he has a full collection of basically everything Funko Disney related. So he went and picked this up like the day it dropped wherever he's located. So that's the first time I saw this pop, and I actually really do enjoy this. Then we have the rest of the Disney pops, and these people mover pops are really cool. I really enjoy this, and I think it's smart that they're adding other characters rather than your like mainstay Disney characters with Mickey Mouse, Minnie, and Pluto, obviously. But we do have Stitch, which is really cool. And I hope that we do end up seeing more exclusives for this kind of set where you have other characters, whether it be like Woody or Buzz Lightyear on there. You could have like Ariel or some other princess on there as well. Just other Disney stuff rather than staying with your mainstay Disney characters. The Amazon exclusive Space Mountain is really cool. I really enjoy that. I think it would be awesome to, like, let's say a couple years from now when they do release more pop towns like this, to completely set up like a Disney World kind of display with all the different like rides and like buildings, like obviously Cinderella's castle. I think that would be super sweet. And I'm sure that people have also thought of that because that's just so cool. The flocked Pirates of the Caribbean dog is also really awesome. I feel like I'm happy that I haven't bought the common now because I definitely want that flocked version. That is just an awesome pop. And then we have the pops for the Batman, and I'm very torn about this. At first, when I heard there was a new Batman movie, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be pretty cool, or it could be really bad. Who knows? But just from character design alone, I'm not really like a huge fan right away. Like looking at the jumbo sized Batman, because you can get more detail out of there. The suit is all right, the Batman suit. I don't know how I feel about like the stitching on the mask itself. I mean, it's a cool detail for a pop, but show or movie wise, I guess, I just feel like I don't know. I just don't like that design of Batman. And then the Riddler is also a very weird design. I think it makes for a decent pop, but I don't know. I don't even know if I'll go see this movie, so I probably won't be collecting these pops either. But I do find it cool how there are two chase variations for the common pops.
Are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca. And also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last. So go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Popcast to get 10% off and also free shipping over $75 in both Canada and the US with duty fees included.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code Funko Popcast for 10% off.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next section of Funko Pops, which range from January 11th up until January 13th. Kicking off this set, we have ourselves the newest Funko NFT Pops, which are themed retro comics, which we got ourselves Popeye with Sweet Pea, which was limited to 999 pieces. Bluto, which was limited to 1,900 pieces, a Freddy Funko as Popeye, which originally in our photo, it was listed as limited to 999 pieces, but it was actually limited to some number over 3,000. I can't exactly remember. It was updated on the drop website. And then we have ourselves Flash Gordon, which was limited to 1,900 pieces, in which these are available now. More specifically, these released yesterday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. PST on the drop website. Then on January 12th, Entertainment Earth had announced their own exclusive glow-in-the-dark pop of Scarlet Witch from WandaVision, in which this is available for pre-order now and is expected to release as early as June 2022. Then on January 13th, Funko had announced a new wave of Star Wars Valentine's Day pops, which we got ourselves the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Grogu with Cookie, a Luke Skywalker with Grogu, and then exclusive pops of a Mandalorian with Grogu, which will be exclusive to Target, and a Bo-Katan, which will be exclusive to the Funko shop. And these have started hitting up stores, but not everywhere yet until as early as March 2022. On that same day, Funko had actually announced, or I should say re-announced, the do-it-yourself Minnie Mouse pop that we actually discussed about on last week's podcast, but then officially confirmed that do-it-yourself Valentine's Day Mickey Mouse pops, and officially confirmed that it will be Walmart exclusive, and unknown yet of when this will be releasing, since Walmart has not posted a posting as of this recording. And then the last pop to discuss about for this podcast is a Ariel with Eric statue pop movie moments from The Little Mermaid, in which this will be a box lunch exclusive. And yet again, there is no date yet of when these are expected to be released. So kicking off with the Funko NFT pops of retro comics, which I think so far, in my opinion, this may be like possibly one of the best Funko NFT pops that Funko have done, like as terms to a full set. But I do have a bit of gripes with them, which I'll get into discussion right now before I discuss about each of the characters. So I feel that it's a cool idea that they did retro comics, but I also find it kind of weird that literally 3/4 of the pops are all Popeye and one of them isn't Popeye. So I feel like they should have just did a full either Popeye lineup or just take out a couple of the Popeye pops and replace them with other comic book kind of characters. Like example, maybe have 1 or 2 Popeyes, but then you keep that Flash Gordon, and then maybe let's say like one of those retro Archie comics characters. Like we've already gotten like the Jughead, the Veronica, the Archie, and the Betty. Why not put like a Cheryl Blossom and then make that as a NFT pop? But otherwise, this should have just been, let's say, a full-on Popeye lineup, and then let's say replace Flash Gordon with, let's say, Olive Oil, and then call it a day. Popeye with Sweet Pea is pretty cool because it's just a new like kind of mold for a Popeye pop. It's not like, let's say, with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lineup, they just use that same mold from the retro toys, I'm pretty sure TMNT or the movies lineup, for certain characters, and then just add these weird colorways. It's just kind of a brand new sculpt, and you have a new character with Sweet Pea in that. And I can totally understand that this would be 999 pieces, the most limited, because this is probably going to be the one that everyone chases after, or what probably people hoped to chase after yesterday as they were getting these NFTs. Another thing I like about this is Bluto, because if I'm not mistaken, this is actually the very first Bluto Funko Pop in the entire lineup. They actually recently announced the Bluto Funko Soda, but they've never had a Bluto Funko Pop. I did Google research, I did the Funko app research, nothing on Bluto. So it's pretty crazy that a pop that could have been either a normal, let's say this could have been like a specialty series or a regular exclusive or even a Comic-Con exclusive, ends up being an NFT Funko Pop. So really, this kind of shows that anything could happen as terms to the NFT pops. And then you have the Freddy Funko as Popeye, which is okay. Some of you might know I'm not really entirely the biggest fan of Freddy Funkos to begin with, because it is essentially just the normal Freddy Funko head slapped onto a regular body, which is exactly what they did with this. I wouldn't care. And then you have Flash Gordon, which is pretty decent, to be honest. Then we got ourselves the glow in the dark Scarlet Witch for WandaVision, which this is okay. I'm kind of a little disappointed that they are still pumping up WandaVision pops, but not of brand new characters. They are just pumping up essentially glow in the dark or glitter variants of certain characters. We had the glitter variant of the Vision that will be a Books a Million exclusive, I believe. And now we have Entertainment Earth announcing a glow in the dark variant of this Scarlet Witch, which this is pretty decent. I feel like this is one of those things where you might be able to glow it enough to where it has a nice glow, but you might have to charge it up a little bit because red is such a like kind of dark but light color at the same time. So it might not react to the black light all that well right away. But overall, if it looks as good as it does in the glam shot, that's a plus, because I think that'd be sweet. Then we got the Valentine's Day Star Wars pops, which I was super pumped to see when the photos were kind of, I guess, leaked in a way, because like I mentioned, some retailers had already gotten these pops before Funko got to make the announcement already. And I was a big fan of the Star Wars Valentine's Day pops last year, even though I'm not really a fan of when Funko does these holiday pops, but there was something about those Star Wars pops last year that just kind of like was really different compared to the other like holiday themed pops that we had gotten. And it was cool to see a wave 2, but this time with the Mandalorian. So it'd be really cool if maybe, let's say in 2023, we get like the Clone Wars Valentine's Day pops for Star Wars. I think that'd be pretty decent. And I'll talk about these essentially one by one. And I love how they kind of switched up the mold. It wasn't just, let's take the exact same mold from a Star Wars pop and slap those Valentine's Day colors. Like you got the Mandalorian with the card in his hand and it says, I'm pretty sure to Grogu from Mando. And these are wicked. You got Ahsoka Tano with the heart-shaped chocolate box. Luke Skywalker holding Grogu, but he's holding kind of like the hearts for the paper form. And I think my favorite has to be the Grogu for the commons because of the fact that they utilize the fact that in that figure, he's holding a cookie, but they switched it out with kind of those hard heart candies that you get at Valentine's Day that have like the different messages like I love you or some sort of Valentine's Day message, which I think that was really smart on Funko's part. And then we got the exclusive pops, which are pretty decent. I like how they have the Grogu holding the I love you chocolate box. I think that's pretty cool. And then you have Bo-Katan that has a really nice, like different colorway as terms to the Valentine's Day pop, where you see more white than you do the red and the pink there. I think that's really cool. And I don't exactly remember all of the quotes on the bottom of the bases, but I think the common Mando's quote from what I remember is, this is the way ... to your heart. I think that's something along the lines of that. That's the quote, but I don't exactly remember the quotes for the bottom of the bases for the other ones. I remember looking at them, but for some reason I can't remember them. Then we got ourselves the do-it-yourself Disney Pops, which we have the Minnie Mouse that we already discussed about last week on the podcast, so I won't go into discussion about that, but I guess it's pretty decent that we have the Mickey Mouse now. And then we have the Ariel with the Eric statue from The Little Mermaid. And I know that a lot of people were really hyped about this Funko Pop announcement. And I don't blame them, especially if you're a casual fan, especially me, who has probably only watched The Little Mermaid once. This is pretty detailed. I love the detail of like the water and how it's like really translucent. And then you have the statue and how it actually looks like it's not just one solid color. You got kind of like the different specks on it to make it look like stone and how it's actually a statue. So I like how this is done. And I'm sure a bunch of people, whether you're a hardcore Disney collector, a hardcore Little Mermaid collector, maybe even a casual Disney fan, might actually want to get this in their Funko Pop collection.
Okay, we have a new set of Funko NFT pops. So I guess I'm going to talk about each pop first before I talk about them as a whole. So we have Popeye with Sweet Pea, and this is really, really cool. I really enjoy that we're seeing more Popeye pops. I think that there could be a ton of them, and I don't know why we haven't seen them in the past. But this is cool. Obviously, with Sweet Pea, you get a new character, and it is like a poppin' buddy. So yeah, I could definitely see this being one of the pops that a lot of people want the most. But then Bluto as well being a new character is just such an awesome looking pop. I think it looks really, really good. And I think that DK said it pretty well, where this could have easily been a specialty series pop. Then we have the Freddy Funko as Popeye, and this is personally my favorite. I really enjoy this version of Freddy Funko. Some Freddy Funkos recently I haven't been a huge fan of, so it's cool to see something that I would actually want to collect. And then we have Flash Gordon, which I think is also really cool. I like the helmet and the whole outfit. I think looks great on this figure. Talking about these NFT pops, I'm not a huge fan of the NFTs to begin with, because I think that the idea of collecting the NFTs is cool. I like that idea. But then giving us these physical prizes, I guess we'll call them, because you literally have to win them, not the greatest. And then when you see stuff like this with the Popeye and the Bluto, that's just pops that should just be a normal release, whether they're exclusive to the Funko shop or a retailer. But having these pops that you can only get through this being a limited piece count, I think is a little bit ridiculous. I know that I guess Funko would probably make about the same amount of money, whether they would put them in stores or have them like this, because people are buying the NFT pack. So they're getting the revenue from that rather than selling the pops themselves. But I just think it's ridiculous that you would have to buy these NFT packs to get these pops. I think I hate it a lot. And I hope that going forward with the NFTs, we get like the Freddy Funko. I think the Freddy Funko is a good idea because not a lot of people, or not everyone, collects Freddy Funkos. But I feel like a lot of people would want to get those normal variations of characters. That's why I really liked the original NFT set where you had pops that were just like color variations for the most part, or the obviously Freddy Funko that was like the skater kind of TMNT figure. I think that was good. I liked that set because they're pops that is like, oh, if I won this, that'd be really cool. But that's not a character that I have to complete like every character from TMNT because it was nothing new. So these Popeye ones, it's a little heartbreaking because I do really, really want these pops, but I would be surprised if I ever got my hands on one of the three. And then obviously not going to leave out the Flash Gordon. That's also a really cool pop. I'm just not too interested in it. And then I think that DK brought up a good point about how this is basically just a Popeye drop. Why not take out that Flash Gordon and put Olive Oil in there? Or why not take out Popeye with Sweet Pea? I think would be the one to take out and add, like he said, maybe an Archie. Other things that I could think of would be like Richie Rich. A pop of Richie Rich would be really awesome. Even like a new Casper variation or something like that. One of those characters that what is it, Beetle Bailey, like something like that, I think would be really, really cool. But it's mostly Popeye, which is fine for me because I do really enjoy Popeye. But I think that it was a little heavy on Popeye, that's for sure. So moving forward, we'll talk about the Wanda pop, the Scarlet Witch. This is really cool. I liked this pop originally, and now it's glow in the dark. Yeah, this is a tough one because who knows what that glow is going to look like. I know that the like pinks and reds don't glow very well. I do have the what is it, the Cheer Bear, the glow in the dark chase, and it glows, that's for sure, but not like, let's say, like a Kang and Kodos or the new like Mr. Burns pop that is just a phenomenal glow, obviously because of the green. But if this does have a decent glow, I think that this will be a really, really awesome looking pop. And then we have the new Star Wars Valentine's Day pops. And this is cool. I'm glad that they extended this. I wanted to get the original wave from last year, and I never ended up getting any of them. And I think that it's a good idea that they went with the Mandalorian for this. Obviously, the Mandalorian is selling a ton of product for them. And these are cool. And I do like how they changed it up where they are different sculpts. It makes it feel a little bit more Valentine's Day like. And it also feels like you're not just buying a color variation of a pop. I don't know which one I like the most. I think it might be the Target exclusive because you do kind of get a Pop and Buddy kind of sense that way. And I think it's pretty cute how Grogu is holding the I love you kind of box of chocolates where Mando is holding him. I just hope that these end up hitting the majority of stores before Valentine's Day, or I think it's just a wasted opportunity because I feel like with a March kind of release date for all stores, the hype is kind of already over. I mean, obviously, they're still a good gift to get like your loved one, or even if you just enjoy these pops. But these would also be like a really cool Valentine's Day gift for a Star Wars fan. And then we have the do-it-yourself Mickey Mouse now alongside the Minnie Mouse that we already talked about. And these are spectacular. These are very, very good. I really enjoy these do-it-yourself pops. I think that this is kind of the way it should be for do-it-yourself. My only gripe, and this is just me being stubborn, is that with the Mickey and the Minnie, they both kind of look like they're either wearing like a Magneto helmet or like a Vision helmet, I guess, just because of the way that the, I guess you could call it, hair is kind of bulged out from the figure. But that does need to be there because if people are painting these, they do kind of want an outline of where those colors should go. And I'm glad that these are Walmart exclusive. I know I talked about how I want to see them at Michael's, but I just don't go to Michael's that often, whereas I do go to Walmart pretty dang often. And when these do hit up our Walmarts, I will hopefully be buying both of them and painting them because I think that these ones are great. And I like how Mickey is holding the box of chocolates and it's a blank canvas. You can do whatever you want on there. If you're good with painting on lettering, you could definitely write something pretty cool on there. And these are so cool. I can't wait to paint these. And then lastly, we have the new Little Mermaid pop. It is a box lunch exclusive, and this is wicked. I have watched The Little Mermaid pretty recently. I would say about 8 months ago or so. I watched it on Disney Plus, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I also watched the live action one, which is just so cool as well. I love John Stamos in that. But the Ariel is decent, and then the statue is just phenomenal. Overall, it makes this pop really, really cool. DK talked about that kind of like speckling paint job, which does really make it look like it's made of stone, which is just so cool. This is one of the best pop movie moments that we've seen in a bit, and it's definitely the best one of the year so far, considering we're just getting started.
All right, guys. So that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's edition of a Funko Popcast, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let us know your opinions of the Funko Pops we discussed on today's podcast. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future. And press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week on what will be the top 10 Funko Pops of January 2022, and will actually also mark the 3-year anniversary of a Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.